It's a big one because if he's serious about you, he'll want to integrate you into his world for sure. No, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, can't get there here, but how about I can check you at your apartment later on?" Things like those, especially in the early stages of a relationship. No, let's talk about those so-called dates. If all he suggests are activities that involve you being close, like watching the movies at his place, going to a bar and hanging out in private spots, or just chilling, it might be a sign that he's not actually into dating. It's like
We all wear masks at home, at work, in love, in life. But here the mask stays on and the truth comes out. Welcome to The Mask is On. Hiding in the open, speaking the unspoken. No filters or sugarcoating. Just raw, unfiltered talk about life, work, and everything in between. So let's talk. No holding back. Subscribe now and never miss the truth.
hey everyone, welcome to The Mask is On. I'm your host, Shade, and today we're diving into a topic that, let's face it, we've all struggled with at some point, and that is finding the right person. Is it just me, or does it feel like dating is more of a phase than is a clear path? Now, some people have had it easy, on their first go around, find the person who they are looking for, the perfect match. But for others, it can be a little bit difficult. And one thing I can say is when it comes on to men, not everyone is going to be straight up about what it is that they're looking for. Some like to string women along just to get to, physical aspects of a relationship without anything behind that. And if you are not an experienced individual, or I wouldn't use the word naive, but you don't know the signs that to look out for, then there's a possibility that you may be taken, someone may take advantage of you because of that. But, I'm here to offer some signs that we can all look out for in terms of, when somebody is really interested in getting to know you for who you are. Hopefully, help with making the right decisions when it comes to who we allow to be in our life and who we allow to enter in our spaces. So, like I said earlier, when you think you found someone worth your time, the next question is, how do you know if they're really interested in something meaningful? Or are they just after a good time, right? And by good time, I mean something a little more physical than emotional. So, some signs, I'm going to share about 8 signs that we can look out for just to tell that he's just after sex. Because honestly, we all deserve someone who is in it for more than just a temporary fling. Unless, a temporary fling is really what you're looking for. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But like I said, sometimes because of the way you look, men may show interest in you just because of that reason. And you may think that, they want more, but that is not the case. No, it's not always easy to tell. People have different ways of showing affection, and sometimes we can misread signals. But, there are some pretty clear red flags when someone is only interested in one thing. So let's get into it. No, the first sign that I'm going to look at is he's always trying to rush things. You know the type. He's constantly pushing the relationship forward, but it's always physical. It's like, let's skip dinner and go straight to my place, or why don't we just hang out at my apartment tonight? Or let's say you make plans, he's gonna pick you up from work, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, can't get there here, but how about I can check you at your apartment later on?" Things like those, especially in the early stages of a relationship, a guy who always wants to rush into things, that's a no-no. And that's a big red flag because this guy did not, take the time to get to know you for who you are. So that's like a huge red flag right there. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think there's something wrong with someone who tries to skip the part where you talk about, your favorite pizza toppings. Like, let's connect first before it gets to that point. Now, the second sign that I'm going to talk about is the text get flirty, but never substantial. Have you ever experienced where you met a guy like this person, exchange number, day two, it's just all about flirty, and they're like, oh, I apologize, I'm just flirty, I hope you don't get me wrong, but you're so hot, you're so sexy, you probably have nice legs. No, you've probably noticed this one too, because I feel like this one is one of the most popular ones. So, you start texting him, everything starts off cool. But after a couple of exchanges, the conversation suddenly turns really flirty or sexual. And here's the kicker: when you try to have a deeper conversation, it either doesn't happen or he shifts the focus back to something physical. It's like trying to have a serious talk in a room full of distraction. No one's interested in going deeper. And if you are experiencing this, just know that you are worthy of way more than that. So don't be afraid to cut communication with this person, or, you know, try to seek to see if this is really what this person wants before doing that. Now here's another sign. Sign number three. He avoids planning dates that aren't about physical proximity. No, let's talk about those so-called dates. If all he suggests are activities that involve you being close, like watching the movies at his place, going to a bar and hanging out in private spots, or just chilling, it might be a sign that he's not actually into dating. It's like he wants a perk of a relationship without any of the effort. And my thing is this: if you as a woman don't feel like you're ready to go down that route with a guy, then try not to put yourself in any situation where anything, you know, physical can occur that you are not ready for. Because at times, men will try to, instigate, sexual activities in the hopes that you will give in, especially if you are in a private setting. So keep dates public. I mean, for your safety, especially if it is somebody that you've just met, and just to also ensure that the relationship doesn't go any further than you want it to go. Now, sign number four. He's always talking about how hot you are. Compliments are great. Don't get me wrong. I love a compliment. I love to receive compliments, and I love to give compliments, especially if someone looks good. And that's, right across the board, male or female. So we all love some praise here and there, but when he only focuses on your physical appearance, like constantly saying, you look so sexy tonight, or damn, you're fine, without any mention of your personality, it could be a sign that he's just into the outward package, not internally. Oh, sign number five. This is a big one. Let's say you're dating someone for a while, and you've been on several dates, and you've known each other, and you've been talking, but he doesn't want to introduce you to his friends or family. Never met a friend, never met a family. It's always some reason or some excuse. Oh, my family doesn't come around, they live far away. Who have you told about me? Oh, no one is in my life, so I don't really talk about my relationship. It would be weird for me to reach out to a family member to tell them about who I'm dating. That's a red flag right there. Because, it's like pulling teeth to get him to make plans that involve people in his meeting people in his life. It's a big one, because if he's serious about you, he'll want to integrate you into his world for sure. No doubt about that. But if he's avoiding any situations where you could meet his circle, it's probably because he sees you as a temporary presence, something fun, but not long term. The other sign we're going to look at now is conversations super shallow, nothing behind it. How often does he ask you about your dreams, your goals, aspirations, your family? If the conversations are mostly surface level, like what are you doing this weekend, or what do you like to do for fun, with no deeper interest in who you are as a person, that's another red flag right there. He might be interested in the physical fun, but not you. Okay? Next sign: won't commit to any sort of future plans. You're dating someone, been with them for a while. There's a concert coming up. Concert is a month in advance. And you'd be like, oh, I would love to go to this concert. I would love for us to go. And they're like, oh, I don't like making plans so far in advance. That's so far away. When the time comes, we'll think about it. Things like those. It's huge. Trust me, it is. If every time you talk about future plans, he avoids them or changes the subject, it could mean he's not planning on being around for the long haul. I mean, he could be gone in a week, not committed. Real relationships involve looking ahead, whether it's making plans for next week or planning a trip months down the road. If he's not willing to make future commitments, he's likely not thinking long term with you. Now, sign number 8. He gets defensive when you ask about the relationship. Yeah, this one is a classic. Imagine being with someone 4, 5, 6 months down, and you're like, okay, so where do we stand? What are we doing? What's the status of our relationship? If you cannot internally say with confidence that this is my man, that's a no no. Purely physical. You have to, even if he doesn't say it, there has to be some sort of actions that shows that you are more than just a fling. You are more than just fun. He's into you for more than what you can offer to him physically, right? So when you ask him what's going on between you two or what he wants out of the relationship, and he immediately shuts down or gets defensive or changes the subject to something else, then, you know, that's a flag right there. Things like, oh, why are you rushing things? Or why do you need to label it? Yes, I need to label it. I need to know where I stand. Because you cannot allow someone who only plans to be in your life temporary to block you from meeting the person who wants to be in your life to the very end, who is going to be there to support you, right? Who's going to be there to get to know you, somebody you can lean on. So yes, we are going to labor it. It's 2025. You know, there is no reason unless you choose to, as the female, to be in a relationship where there's no sort of labor involved. Like, no, that's not going to happen. So if he's really interested in you, he'll be happy to talk about where things are heading for sure. No, I know. I do know. Dating is complicated, and sometimes these signs can feel a little overwhelming, but trust your gut. And if something feels off, it probably is. And if he's not giving you any reassurance, then yeah, something is definitely off, and you need to, assess the relationship, look into your options, look into what makes you feel happy. Because there's no way for you to be in a relationship and having doubts about the person or where you stand or if this is more than just sex or if it is what it is. It probably is, probably feels off. Just consider it. Think about it. No, not a fun topic. I get it. But sometimes we have to look at things that, are not always fun to talk about so that we can get to the fun stuff, so that we can get to a life of happiness and, joy and finding the right person, right? Cool. So that's all for today's episode of The Mask is On. I hope these signs help you get a closer look to figuring out whether someone's in it for the right reasons. Remember, you deserve someone who values you for who you are, not just for how you look or what you can offer physically. Remember, whether you're hiding behind a mask or showing the world your true face, it's all about owning it. Until next time, stay authentic, stay bold, and don't forget to keep that mask on or off, whatever feels right. Catch you later.